What's going on, you guys? Like, what you guys to the channel? It's your boy Big Dog back with another one take review. Today I finally got one for Eternals. I actually got to see a movie on opening night for the first time in a very long time. Felt good though. And this was one I had to catch this after work yesterday, and it was a 2.5 hour, 2 hour and 37 minute long movie. So I was kind of worried. I haven't been hearing a lot of great things about it. I haven't really watched any reviews or anything like that. So I was just kind of going into this like, hey, I tethered my expectations, even though none of the trailers really got me except for that last one. I thought that last one was an interesting trailer, even though I don't think it depicted exactly what the movie was. So I went in, you know what I'm saying, like I said, tethered expectations, trying to see like what exactly is this about, because my Marvel knowledge isn't as vast as a lot of people. I'm a real surface level Marvel watcher, so I didn't really know too much about the Eternals. But apparently, this movie, quick synopsis: the saga of the Eternals, a race of immortal beings who lived on Earth and shaped its history of civilizations. So I'm like, cool, let's see. I love the cast. Chloe Zhao seems to be a love. Well, she directed Nomad Land. Wasn't really a big fan of that movie, but I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna give her a chance to see what she does in the Marvel movie. Overall, I gotta say I enjoyed the film. I definitely been seeing like Rotten Tomato scores and some people saying like it's the worst Marvel movie and things like. No, it's just kind of like around that middle area for me. Um, and it's definitely different. But I think that's one of the things I liked about it. Now when people say, I've heard this a million times. People say, "Oh, it doesn't feel like any other Marvel movie," and like they say that they literally say that about just about every Marvel movie that comes out. And I just be like, nah, that still gives me the same feeling as all the other ones. The jokes in the middle of the time where it shouldn't be jokes, or it's just like you don't necessarily feel the stakes. All those things, like they all feel the same to me personally. But this one, I actually do think it feels a little bit different, and that might be one of the reasons some people are turned off to it. Now, this movie does have a long runtime, and does it affect some people? Definitely. I heard some people in the theater saying like it's too long. This is boring. They said it after the movie, but I was just like, overall, I think I enjoyed my time throughout the entire film. Right? Now, we get to learn a little bit about these characters because a lot of this film takes place in flashbacks. So we see a lot of different flashbacks. Then we come back to present time, and like the main character we following is Gemma Chan's character Cersei. Like her, and like they have these beings called Deviants that seem to just be out to like kill and destroy humanity. We don't know why they're doing this, and like the Eternals are sent to destroy the sent to protect humanity from the Deviants, and like of course there's a lot of other history, but other than that, we get to see we get to see a Celestial in this, and that just looks awesome all by itself. Um, and that's just one of the coolest parts about it. Is like some of the visuals in here are really good. Some of them, like I think it was a certain fight scene between like two characters. I was just like, I just kind of throw it off to me. But like overall, I enjoyed it. And like as far as the cast, favorite character definitely has to be Angelina Jolie's Thena. Like she stole the show every time she was on there, and that character is so complicated, and the things that's going on with her are very like severe, and like the more you like unravel about what's going on with her mind, it gets much more interesting as things go on. But at the same time, there are some characters I just didn't necessarily care for. Barry Coogan, I think that's his name. His druid, I didn't care for his character at all. He kind of felt like an asshole to me. I think I can kind of like understand where he was going with. You know, he's a guy who's able to like control people's minds. You know, but I just really wasn't feeling this character. I'm not gonna go through every single character in this thing that I liked or didn't like because there's a big cast. But overall, the storyline is simple. Like these people were sent here to protect the world from deviants. They killed the deviants 5,000 years ago, and so they're just wondering why we're still on this planet. And that was also obviously a good question. But I think there were certain stuff you could just look at in this film. You just knew like, oh well, if they're still here, of course there's going to be something. There's more to it than this. You have to think what you're dealing with. You're dealing with beings who looked at like higher and more supreme like than a god or stuff like that. So it's you see it and you're just like, all right, I know where things are going. But I've always said this, and I continue to say it. The most important thing about a film to me is the characters and can they land that ending. Not only that, if a movie is long or the storyline is simple, you're going to need good characters to get you through that. Now I think they did like just like kind of like love triangle with Cersei's character Icarus played by Richard Madden and Dane Whitman played by Kit Harington. You know what I'm saying? They all have this little love triangle going on, and that kind of feels like the central part, along with Cersei being put in a position of power in which she wasn't necessarily ready for, and just learning different things about the Eternals and how they interact with humans, why they. Certain events they helped in and certain events they didn't help in. Just all those types of things you pretty much learn about these characters. And just what they've been doing for the past 5,000 years. And, you know, that's pretty much all that we've been getting. That's what we see. Exactly, you know what I'm saying, what's happening with them. And some of them, like I said, are interesting characters and you kind of intrigued. And then also some of them storylines don't feel fully fleshed out. They just kind of like certain things I feel like we just sprinkled in there, just like, okay, we got to do this. Like Makiri, played by Lauren Ridolph, she's a mute. Which you're kind of wondering, like, why is she a mute and she's an Eternal? Like, you know what I'm saying? It just seems kind of odd, right? But no, I thought her character was great. It's just we rarely got to see her. When she was in action, though, like she got active. Like she was great. Gilgamesh, he's like the overseer for Athena. He looked out for her, and I like this character too. But just some of these characters, they got introduced, but I don't feel like we was with them long enough to care about them. But and that's weird to me because there's other things that happen with them that when we first get introduced to them, they all get some news. And they're devastated. And you're kind of in the moment at that time. And there's a flashback where you see them, but they're devastated by some stuff. And like you're in the moment with them at that time. It's just as the movie's go on, I think you start to build more separation from the characters than you do connection. Now it does come back around to a certain point, but I think this is dealing with world-ending stuff. You know, I thought these a powerful being. Well, these are powerful beings, so I knew we was gonna deal with something. But when we get into like the world-ending stuff, I don't necessarily feel that. And that's when we finally find out what they like the mission is in the movie. I'm not gonna spoil it or anything. I think once we finally find out what's happening with the mission, I think that's when the film kind of like takes me out of it a little bit because I'm like, damn. I don't believe any of it. Nothing bad is going to happen. But before that, building up to all those things, I'm like, it shows you like, no, the stakes are real. These people are actually in danger, and you feel for them. You don't just because like immortal. People don't know the difference between immortal and invulnerable. Like they aren't invulnerable. They can still be killed. Like, but. You know, they don't age and you know what I'm saying, they won't die of like sickness or anything like that. But no, they can still be killed. And like once you get put in that realm and that light, you're just like, okay, yeah, these guys are actually, and like that's what I felt from the movie that I typically don't feel in other Marvel movies. I don't necessarily feel like big characters can actually go anywhere. You know, I kind of feel like they're always safe and nothing can possibly happen to this one. You actually feel it until we actually find out like what's the big thing in the movie. And I think that's kind of where it loses me at. Cause I'm like, obviously nothing's bad going to happen to the world. You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel like they would happen to in this light. But yeah, a couple of the negatives. Jesus Christ, I got his name just that fast. Kit Harington, this character, he's there for a little bit, then he's gone. It's also predictable. Some stuff is very corny. I feel like they tried to go too dramatic at times, and it just didn't feel right. They the use of superhero shots, where they just like wanted us to see how larger than life these characters were, and just have them like posing. I'm just like, I don't think that none of this is necessary. Um, but as far as I like the comedy, I like a lot of stuff. I like a lot of things about this movie, and I enjoyed my time. Like out of those two, I'm gonna be honest, out of those 2 hours and 37 minutes, I can't say I was bored. I think I was engaged enough. And right when I felt myself pulling away, something would happen in the film that'd get me like right back locked in. So yeah, I commend them for this one. It was one hell of a thing. It was a big balancing act you have to act. You have to task you have with all these actors and all these storylines and so many different things and trying to expand or this side of the world. Yeah, it was a lot. So, but overall, I give the movie a C plus. Definitely isn't bad in my opinion. Isn't the greatest, but I would watch it. I think I would watch it again, undoubtedly. But I've also never just been a fan of like fighting monsters. You know what I'm saying? I would rather them like see somebody catch a fade with. But yeah, that's my review for Eternals. You guys let me know what y'all thought about it down in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you guys staying safe, and I catch up with you guys later. Peace.